and we are live from the Ranch Sports Talk, live for the culture. How's it going, fellas? In the building.
What's up?
We are honored to have Rap Curry.
Rap Curry in the building.
Rap Curry is in the building. Athletic director, Penwood alumni, St. Jude's alumni, D1 accomplished athlete. So we got a lot to talk about. It's the perfect time to have a basketball man. He's my basketball man. He's my Sunny Hill. That's who I go to. You know, I run things by rap before I come on here and talk to y'all to try to get that knowledge. Real deal. Got Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan.
What's going on?
How's it going? You here? Back again? How's it going, man?
I got Duke listening in.
Duke. All right, Duke.
Duke and cousin Dave on
Cousin
there.
Dave. Okay, Duke's down in Florida, sunning and funning. You know, enjoy yourself, brother. Enjoy yourself, good brother. Dave Harper. How it is, definitely. But yo, let's jump into this thing. It's March Madness, NCAA tournament time. I mean, the games have been a lot of chalk going on. A lot of your top seeds advancing. A few upsets. March Madness last night. Auburn. Woo! Auburn blew out North Carolina. They just shot the lights out. 63% from three in the second half. Hit 17 second half threes. They were on fire. Rap, were you surprised to see that you know, Auburn could really get down like that?
I only surprised is because, you know, initially when I did my bracket, you know what I mean, I thought North Carolina was going to get through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually had them coming back and winning that thing.
Okay.
But Auburn gets it done. You know, Bruce Pearl's a good coach.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I'm always a little iffy on them SEC, Big Ten teams. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like come tournament time, they choke it up.
Right.
But
The Big Ten kind of flexed this year a little bit, though.
both of them. I mean, them schools, Auburn, they got ballers, you know?
And what I noticed about rap, when we talk about Bruce Pearl as the coaching aspect, even though, you know, everybody said you're going to try to run with North Carolina, you're going to run and gun, they said we can run too.
Yes.
But when they were up double digits, they came up and got in half court, ran some clock, did their slips, and still got open shots and hit them. I mean, they were banking threes and everything like that. But it showed that, hey, you know, we're a running gun team, but we got this double-digit lead. Let's take 15, 20 seconds, get in our offense, because we're getting the shots that we want. You know, if we're getting the shots early, we can get them a little bit later. And I thought it was just watching the game, I just thought, hey, man, that was really tremendous on their part, the way they handled things. And you saw last night, Michigan State moved on. They handled their business, you know, with no problem. And so it's really interesting to see, you know, the cream rise to the top, you know, moving forward, definitely. And you got to look at, if we look at the Elite Eight that's left, definitely the story is Virginia looking for redemption, being the first 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed last year. Purdue, which is balling. Michigan State and Duke are stalwarts. Kentucky, you know, they Blue Buds. Auburn, all SAC regional right there. And then you got Gonzaga and Texas Tech. Now, Rap, talk to me a little bit. Gonzaga program always playing, you know, been around, but people always question them. Is Gonzaga a legit championship contender this year?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And Gonzaga's for real. And they got what the Gonzaga Bulls that we know didn't have that type of athletes.
Yeah, I noticed some
right now in size.
Size.
And if they did have
Brothers.
size, it was kind of stiff guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They can't make it in the league.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I
He's a
definitely,
shooter.
Yeah, they
He's a
can pop.
shooter.
They can pick and pop.
Now they got some Shaquems.
Yeah, they got some dudes. They got some hybrids that can go get it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to touch too on the coaching aspect that you put it, because, you know, one of the things, you know, I feel like coaches in college basketball get a little too much credit. You know what I mean, people might
It's
say
still
I'm a
about the
hater.
players.
Yeah, it's still about the players. I mean,
It's
come
about
on.
the
You
Darryls and Joes.
Yo, if you got Zion, you in the final. You know what I mean, you at least in the Sweet 16. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was watching the show, and Dean Smith had a quote. He was talking about, you know, he's calling a play. Like, I'm going to call a play here. You're going to run the screen, and then you're going to give it to the player right here. And then he said, now that's when recruiting kicks in.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
You know, I'm going to draw this up, but that's when recruiting kicks in. Like, you know, I done brought the players here to execute or to get the ball in their hands and, you know, just do it.
But I saw a couple things in on the coaching level. One with Purdue.
Yeah.
If you watch, they made big shots, and they had players. You got to have players that like Klein that don't make shots. Yeah. But if you look at a couple of those sets down the stretch, they were running that like back down the lane screen and pop. And then they back cut it, and the big fella gets a dunk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's play execution. That's coaching. I saw the same thing in even in the Duke game last night. Okay. Obviously Coach K is Coach K, but the young boy from Canada. Can't think of his name right now, but it really didn't have a big first half. They came right out, got him the ball, gave him a screen and roll where he was able to go to a strong hand, go down the lane, do traffic, and just got him going.
Build his confidence. Put him in position to succeed and let the confidence take over.
Yes.
Don't have him do things that are difficult and just really, really hard for him to do, which kind of gets you a little more behind and you're thinking like, man, I can't get this done. But I'll put you in a strong set, run a play specifically for your strengths, and go there. Now, does that happen because, Coach K is a great coach, big programs, have, the facilities and they have the trainers. Because if you're looking at Duke or these big programs, they come in halftime with the game first half broken down. Like somebody's handing them, they pulling up the tape or whatever. Like they got all the shots on offense, all the shots on defense. They get all the things. Is that not only getting the great players, but the budget and the size of the schools and what they put into the sports allow them on this short turnaround to get 2,000 views of the next opponent where they don't have the staff that Duke has. They don't have the resources that Duke has to try to break down Duke the way Duke has the resources to break down. Does that play a big advantage in these tournament games?
So it's a marriage, right? So the school I was going to bring up that was impressive was Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
So Tennessee's been an armpit for the last couple of years, right? But then you put the marriage in with a coach like Rick Barnes, who already knows how to build programs, and so you have kids that were, under 500 winning. What I'm saying, now they're your junior seniors and they're winning games. But at the same time, I watched in one of those games. He had one of the players had like, what was his name? He had a real great name, like Admiral or something like that. But he had like one point at half, came right out, got him rolling because the tournament. And especially when you're talking one and done, right? That's the magic of the tournament, one and done. You can't say, "Oh yeah, my player just didn't have it tonight."
You got to have it tonight.
you gotta sit there and go, "Oh, it's halftime and he don't got but 2 points and 5 shots." Oh, next 3 sets going to him. Yeah. But it's the combination of everybody knowing where the ball goes. Like I'm thinking about Auburn, and I really think Auburn could knock off Kentucky. Yeah. But when you're taking out a player. Of that kid, hurt, of his magnitude, then it's like, everybody's now a little bit out of their roles and chemistry. So now you're trying to fill that out in the final.
On a short turnaround,
or one day in between.
It may come down to make or miss shots. Like Auburn just shot the lights out. They banked it through threes, but they were tough on the defensive end too. They were right with North Carolina, running with them up and down the court. And Bruce Pearl is a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
So one more thing to answer your question, you know what I mean? This last thing I'm saying was that I think that the bigger schools, Auburn, Tennessee goes from 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 people at a game, but they got an arena that has 20. So now you go and now you got the full 20 in the building. Now it's just like magical. So now the kids that's coming up, that come to those visits is like, oh, this is doing it.
Yeah,
like, I can come here and I get to play against Kentucky.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas in maybe a couple years ago, they're like, you know what I mean? I'll go somewhere else. So the big schools have the ability to reload once they put that coach in there that can understand how to build that program.
Definitely. And one of the things that everybody talked about kind of with Virginia, and Virginia kind of plays a different style of ball, but they're kind of slow it down. The Virginia games are low scoring, as you see and take it, and people feel, can they have enough offense, or can that style of play once you get into the Elite Eight and moving forward? I mean, they won the ACC, regular season, but in this short turnaround. Does Virginia have a little shot? Can they do the Cinderella story? I won't say it's a primetime movie, but the ESPN 30 for 30, lose to the 16th seed and come back and win the whole thing the next year. Can they do it? You think?
Without a doubt, I think it's possible. The issue that you have for teams like Virginia, they control space and pace as we could. So it's if you're not used to their style, it's hard. But Purdue's a team that plays space and pace, but they also have a couple players that can go up tempo. You see they put up some buckets. Okay. So now if you can get that team behind where they can't control the pace, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you got a chance to really get them playing a game that they're not as comfortable playing, and then maybe you can. Now I think the thing about with Virginia is they've had that loss. They know what that feels like. And so in the back of their mind, they're like, well, I'm not going to be scared because we already been there. You know what I mean? So they're going to focus in on winning than they are going to be like, the hard part about one and dones is like the pressure of, oh, man, we might be done.
Yeah, and that abrupt moment your whole career is over. Right. Like, so if you're looking at this field, you know with Kentucky, you know Duke, you know about Duke, and who do you think is going to the Final Four out of these Elite Eight? Brad, who do you think is going?
Well, I gotta give shout out to my wife because she's killing. She killed me in the pool this year.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? Wow! So she got the Zags winning it all.
Oh wow, the Zags!
She got the Zags winning it all. I would have told you that I thought. So I think I like the Zags. I actually would have told you that I thought Auburn would have got out over UK, but that injury, the injury and turnaround is making me nervous. The Duke-Michigan State game is a toss-up, right? That's a toss-up, but I'm going to tell you right now, I just feel like Zion's got some magic going.
No, I'm about to start
believing, too. I really thought that they were going to be the ones that flop out early, but, man.
They have gotten some breaks. They got a fortuitous, as they say, bounce around the rim with at the irony of Johnny Dawkins' son. And that's the one thing about sports, when we talk about sports and, Sports Talk Live for a culture, you can't write this stuff, it's just, real life. I mean, Duke is Duke because of Johnny Dawkins and Tommy Amaker. And Jonathan, you a little bit young, but in '83, North Carolina State won it all with Jimmy Valvano. And the pressure was on. They got this guy from, he was an Army coach. Where was Coach K at? He coming there, and it's not really going well down at Duke, and Chapel Hill's right up the road, so there was a lot of pressure on him. And they got that first run where they lost to Louisville in the championship game to Never Nervous Purvis Ellison and the boys from Camden and the McCrae brothers. And old schoolers know what I'm talking about. Sir. And then after that, they got on a roll, kept going to the Final Fours, and finally got over the hump in that epic game against UNLV and then Kansas. And then, the rest is history. But it was a lot of pressure on Coach K because of what, North Carolina was and what North Carolina State did with Jimmy Valvano. And it was a lot of like, man, we should get rid of this guy. I don't know if he can do it, whatever. And Johnny Dawkins was a big part of that. And Johnny Dawkins' son that ball just rolled, and that's the bounces of life, just rolled around and rolled out. It's just the interesting thing on life, how that goes.
Shout out to Johnny Dawkins because, Johnny Dawkins was at the Sixers when I came through. So for those who don't know, the Sixers used to practice at St. Joe's.
Yep.
And he was one of the pros that him and Gerald and Hersey, they were dudes that took me under their wing a little bit to work out with them back then. They used to toss me sneaks, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, definitely.
But so he's a good dude. He's a cerebral dude.
Yeah.
You know
you can tell him, definitely.
His ball game's on a different, knowledge with how he sees the game, and so it was good to see him get that shot and play well, and then his son played well too.
Definitely. And the thing about so you going with the Zags taking it all?
No, wife.
Wifey got the Zags.
Okay, I thought you were going with the wifey.
I like the Zags in there. So the Purdue Virginia one's a hard one for me because on the low, I verbally committed to Virginia out of high school. Yeah,
you was going to go down there with Matt Blunden.
No, so who was? You remember Brian Stiff?
Yeah.
And Terry Kirby.
Yeah.
They were who took me out on a visit. I stayed with them, and then they had point guard.
It was some Jesus Shuttlesworth action going on. Nah.
Hey yo,
that's another story.
So I'm partial to Charlottesville. John Crotty was the point guard there.
Okay.
So they had pros. You know what I mean? And so I was definitely going there, and then Terry Holland left.
Oh, okay.
And so then
did he go to? Where did Terry Holland go?
He retired.
Okay.
Retired out of there. retired.
Wow.
And then so I'm on the low. I got a little Charlottesville love, but I'm really impressed with Purdue. I like them a lot. I think they're going to be tough to beat. I'm not sure anybody's going to beat Zion.
Okay, we're gonna get to Zion, but Rap, talk to that a little bit. We'll get that. You know, you made a decision to stay home, close to home, and not go down to Virginia because the coach left. But if you felt that if Holland had stayed at Virginia, you would have went to Virginia.
So, like most kids, so I was down in 3 schools: Virginia, Oklahoma, and St. Joe's.
Okay, Rap was a beast, y'all. For all those watching it, Rap Curry was a beast back in the day playing high school. He was 2 years behind me in the county, but yeah, he was a beast. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, so I felt like, you know, I was definitely looking for a bigger school, and actually, I was kind of a little more humble than a lot of kids come out. They looking for that place to go and start. Like, to me, going to play behind Crotty and Stiff in the ACC and play against the big fellas and being able to, like, be a contributor for a year was something that I was like, yo, I'll take that.
Oh, that flavor down there. And that was, at the time, you know, Dickie Vitale was just hitting up. ESPN just started carrying the games. And, you know,
Kenny Anderson was at G-Tech, you know what I mean? And Brian Alvin. You know, you got, with somebody else I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, so that, you know, the Duke made their run during that time, like you know, we brought it up. So that was her. So you sitting there going like, all right, well, I'm gonna be able to see if I can really do it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got a year. You know what I'm saying? I got a year. But then you know, the good thing for me with St. Joe's, and this is what I try to tell a lot of local kids, was like, it's the equivalent of kind of like having spring football. You know how you see kids graduate early and go to spring football?
Yeah.
Like literally the day after I lost in the state playoffs.
To Chester?
Like, no, we lost to Whitehall.
Whitehall, oh my goodness.
Whitehall, yeah, they had a 6'8" dude. We bricked it up that night.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so we went out like probably like the quarterfinals my senior year.
Your senior year.
Yeah.
Your junior year is when you made.
Junior year we lost to Chester and got to the Final Four.
Got to the Final Four.
And Chester won the state championship by 50.
Yeah.
You know?
It was different back then.
You know, the state championship was y'all in Chester. That was, you know what I mean?
Well, they kept everybody in the East and they kept the West
before they mixed it up.
Yeah.
No,
Same thing with Lord Marion
the
Chester.
Year? Was that the Glen Mills year?
That was the Glen Mills year.
That was when Bobby Robinson went to Glen Mills after something happened at Ridley. We'll not bring it up. But he went to Glen Mills, and all Glen Mills needed was a point guard because they had 6'7", 6'8" cats, which kind of made them formidable. And the 3 best teams in the state were in the Del Valle League.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And Glen Mills was like a pro team. Yeah. They had, I mean, they were all
Spears,
over 6 foot.
Spears. Yeah.
Robinson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thompson off the bench. They were doing. So when Bobby came, that was the one thing we pressed them. So we, you know, crazy part about it is I try to tell people that Penwood, we were playing like this type of basketball, today's basketball back then.
Yeah. Y'all always pressed. I remember that.
We not only did we press, but we shot threes. So it was like penetrate, get in the lane, kick out for 3. So you could be bigger than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could get up on us.
Yeah.
But we were going to have streaks of knocking out 3 or 4 3-pointers. And next thing you know, you're like, whoa, we down.
Yeah.
So we scored in bunches. You got to think about it. Like high school game, that Chester game we lost was 89-88.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of points. Yeah. So
somebody missed free throws in that game. I don't want to bring it up.
Speaking of that, you know, my old head Butch, he's still upset at you. He said, I mean, you never even picked the basketball up again. He said, you know, Butch still on the court right now. And Butch was like, man, don't even talk about rap, man. I said, yeah, you know, I work with rap. He said, man, don't even talk about rap, man. All that talent, man. He went and grabbed a ball again, man. He was hot. I'm just telling you, he's still hot about it.
Hey, you know, I got love for Delco. It's crazy. I particularly got love for Chester because, you know, shout out to Fred Pickett and Randy Leggett.
Yeah, definitely Randy.
And Caddy, because they were the ones that brought me, like, we balled everywhere. But they were the ones that was like, yo, this gym's open to you. So I got to go down there and ball with Keith Wood, who was incredible in that day.
It was a camaraderie back in the day. Like, it was
definitely
was
ball
around
down the hill. So like everybody was talking that Philly basketball. Like you had, matter of fact, Sunny Hill broke it up where Chester, Glen Mills, and Penwood couldn't all be on one team because we went down there and won the young boy league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know it was like we had like 7 Division I players on that team.
I mean that's crazy.
So you know it's definitely you know I think that first of all. Cats is crazy in them 30 and overs and 40 and overs. Like when I was playing post college, you know, I'm bringing the kids out to the game. The cats would be coming like they were trying to see the old Rap Curry. You know, my ego's a little too big for that. So like I'd be going hard, and the next day I'm at work paying for it.
Yeah.
So I finally had to be like, yo, I gotta chalk this life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, shout out to all the dudes that's still getting it. You know, basketball for me was always a tool. You know what I mean? We sit in the ranch, you know, I'm trying to, you know, we do that real estate, John. You're an entrepreneur too. It's like basketball was a tool to get me where I was going, and I'm thankful for it. Like
we'll
I
talk
didn't
about
have to
that.
eat off the
We'll
game.
talk about it a little bit later. I want to get into that. As you being an athletic director and some for Penwood High School, your alumni, and advice you can give people trying to acquire those academic dollars. That's what it's all about, definitely. And let's jump in. We mentioned him a couple times. Zion, Mount Zion, Lauryn Hill song, Zion. Generational talent. There's been some. I mean, like I've seen people go back and forth on him. Generational talent. Is he not? How does his game play when he'll be around grown men all the time? What's your take on Zion, Rap?
He's a grown man.
Yeah.
You know, you run into. So I'm gonna tell you, I see two things, right? So I got to see Charles Barkley up close and personal, the young Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
And he reminds me a little bit of that.
Oh, okay.
Where and somebody said it, the great players create positions for themselves. Like there was no Magic Johnson position until Magic Johnson.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no 6'4" power forward who would dribble the length of the floor and go behind his back and then dunk on you until Charles Barkley. Some dudes, you know, create that space. What I like about Zion is that besides his fearlessness, he's fearless. He'll take whatever shot it is. Yeah. He'll take the three, and it's not like he's a great 3-point shooter.
But if it needs to be taken, he'll take it.
And he takes it with confidence. Right. Like it's not like he's like.
It reminded me. I'm not saying this because people go crazy. It reminded me of that other freshman for North Carolina in that game against Georgetown when he pulled up and took that shot. You know, when you had a Sam Perkins, a Jimmy Black on the team, you had other players, and Michael Jordan's a true freshman. Pulls up and takes the shot to put North Carolina up by one, and Fred Brown throws the ball away coming down the court. And James Worthy's on that team too. Don't forget I mean, there's legends on that squad.
Big Shot James.
Big Shot James. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's a different game now because, back then your best player still went 3 years. Your lottery pick would have been lottery picks, so playing 3 and 4 years almost. But he's a freshman here in a one and done era. But still, to be on that stage, he is fearless. I mean, that's definitely one thing I see.
Yeah, he's what they call a man, and so while I feel like basketball is a grown man's game. Yeah, like you don't see rookies coming into the league and then all of a sudden they winning chips. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even LeBron had a process to it.
Except Magic.
You know what I mean? Well, Magic played with Kareem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Kareem on your team. People sleep on Kareem. Like, the sky hook is the most unblockable shot in basketball.
The thing about Kareem, though, Kareem kind of gets this thing as he's a curmudgeon. That he's but Kareem was ahead of his time. In the Game of Death with Bruce Lee.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In one of the funniest movies, Airplane, of all time. Yeah. Like, he's in Airplane. So Kareem is not this curmudgeon-y guy. Like, Kareem was really, like, into different things and doing different things. For him to be in that martial arts movie and play that and to fight Bruce Lee is iconic. You know what I mean? You seen the Game of Death, Jonathan?
Nah,
check it out. Check it out.
School you
Dad told me about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, so definitely. So Kareem's
underrated. John's a young fella.
Yeah.
Kareem's underrated, like
definitely.
But
and intellectual. I mean, he's got like 14 books.
Talking about that team y'all talking about. It was somebody else came up because I researched him a little. Somebody came off the bench. Dark skin boy had like 21 points, like a night.
Which team? The Lakers?
That Lakers team. I think he was number 21 or something.
Cooper.
Yeah, he was like
Cooper Lou.
It wasn't just Magic as a rookie is what I'm saying.
They had went to the conference finals before. Like it wasn't like they were already a championship built team.
I'm like, yo, this bull coming off the bench.
Portland beat him.
20-something? Yeah, like, who is this?
Yeah, Portland beat him. Beat him.
I'm like, who is this bull?
What's going on play Kareem that year? Walton.
But like the thing with thing about Zion though, I I don't know how how's it gonna play once he start getting with men? You know that he can't just push around. You know he's gonna be able to push around some people. How's it gonna get when they force him to take that jumper all night? You know I don't know if everybody's like very real high on him. I don't think that he's like that one in the generation. Like I don't think he's like a Kobe, LeBron, a Jordan. You know, like they had a thing on it. I want to ask y'all too. They said knowing what Lukic, the boy from Dallas, is doing right now, would you take him over Zion right now if you had those two? And I think I would take Lukic because of it's not about strength. It's about finesse. It's not about athlete. It's not about being an athlete in the NBA.
Dominique Wilkins said that. I saw an interview with Dominique. He was talking about different people he played against and everything like that. And Dominique said, look, I'll take the great player over the great athlete. I mean, you can be a great athlete,
right?
But you need like basketball players. I mean, there's guys that can jump the top. You know, it's all about savvy and how you can play. There's a lot of guys that you can put them on a football field and run a 4-1, but they can't get open. They can't run a route. Or just have the feel or play how the acumen for the game, or just the savviness for the game to be able to shoot. The drive, the dribble, and all that stuff that goes into being a great player.
But yeah, and I still feel like right now, I don't know if he's gonna change it up, but right now I feel like he plays to his competition. Like when it's time to turn it on, he turns it on. Like I think he doesn't give it all. Like he might feel like he's playing hard, but I think he got more in him. Like I think he plays to his level of competition at that moment. Like, all right, game close, let me go down and get a bucket. Like I think but if he would have done that earlier, and took control of the game much sooner, I don't think it would have been like that.
Well, he's not ball dominant
right now. Right. He's ball dominant when it's time.
When they got to get to, he's still, and I think in this era of basketball, Reb, you can fill in this, like your players that are really, everybody has to be somewhat ball dominant and have to be able to shoot. And that's just the whole thing. Like you got to be able to shoot a shot.
Right.
It's just too much length. The guards are 6'7". You know what I mean? Long wingspans.
You got some comments or something?
You just got to be able to be a total basketball player in this era.
You know what? And I'm gonna give you this, John, too. Like, if you look at the great players, like we know Michael Jordan's legacy, but did we know Michael Jordan like that before the shot?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, college basketball kind of hurts that transitional player, right?
Yeah.
And so even Allen Iverson, I mean, I think they were a second-round exit.
Yeah.
His year he went out. Like it's Charles Barkley. Like we
zone.
knew they were good, right? You can zone up, you can do things, and you can play a man on a guy in full denial and everybody in full help.
Right.
You can't really do that, and then that's where and there's a progression to getting that way. So you find a lot of guys early on that what they do is they just get buckets, right? And they have highlights in their first year or two, and then they finally find their way of leading their team into a place of championship contention.
Okay.
And then when I look at Luka, I think that's the difference of where I feel like basketball in the States is going. Luka's been a pro.
Right.
Since like 14. Like,
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so he's been playing grown man professional basketball, where Zion hasn't done that yet because we play age appropriate basketball, which is why I think why we're changing this game, right? Why they're getting rid of the one and done and moving everybody to the G League so that we can start getting professionals earlier. I really think, and this is something I was thinking about on the way over here, I really think that we're going to see high school kids not finishing high school and going into the G League because we're really in essence, to me, I think that AAU basketball is going to become like the new G League where you start saying let's start developing these kids at 15, 16 and why wait until they're 18, 19.
And that's what but that's what he was already wanting that Dallas Mavericks owner. He was saying look, we go with this college stuff. He's like, why don't he was just saying one and dones though. He said, all the short one and dones come play in the G League, the development league, and then they can get used to playing with grown men, before they make the transition. Like we knew he was coming out, So all right, let him get in there. We knew Barrett is coming out, so let him get in there. Let them get in there. Let them get in there and work out with grown men. Then move on. And
that's what John Lucas did with Kobe.
So you think he graduated, but Bagley left 11th grade.
Yes.
He didn't do 12th grade. Yes. Picture if he would have came out with that class.
Right.
That was his class.
No doubt.
And the point guard was from Delaware that played last year. If he would have stayed.
Yes.
That's nice. Doug said, Doug Scott in the reaching in. Doug was saying, like, he's playing the men against boys. He's going to have to develop some moves and, you know, some other basketball savvy stuff. It won't be like that in the NBA because, you know, your physical dominance and just your pure physical will not, you know, be a thing. But it'll be interesting to see.
Right, that's what I was saying. But y'all didn't tell me, who would y'all take? Hold on, shout out to Rob Hodge. That's my homie.
Hey, Rob, what's up, man?
What's up?
Who would y'all take? Like, knowing what Luke is doing, the work he's doing today, you know,
that's always
and
interesting.
projecting what Zion's going to do.
And it's hard because you've seen Luke do it in the NBA.
You've seen him do it with the grown men.
Yeah, but if you would ask him that question last year,
right,
I would be. It's hard to say. But he's more seasoned. But I don't know where the upside goes because if Zion develops the shooting and basketball skills with his athleticism,
that's what we're saying.
Mode,
are you willing to bank on that?
Well, what you have to do is you got as one somebody told me a long time ago. You never get in trouble for buying IBM. And Zion seems to be IBM, so I'm gonna go with IBM.
You gonna go with Zion?
I'm gonna go Microsoft.
So you know, where you at?
You know, that's a hard question for a point guard. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, like, to me, I agree with Sunni on the fact that Luka's ceiling, he's closer to his ceiling already than Zion is. So. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get more athleticism out of Luka.
You're not. You're just gonna get more games.
So we're gonna get. He's going to peak over the next 5 years, and then I think that's going to kind of. I hate to say that's going to be it, but because what he's doing is incredible.
But he's 2.0 James Harden though. He's the younger James Harden. James Harden is not athletic.
James Harden's athletic.
Paul Pierce was not athletic. James Harden is the new Paul Pierce.
I mean, they can score. I mean,
you know, James Harden is the new Paul Pierce, and Luka's just trying to say he's going to be the new James Harden.
So my basketball player, point guard player likes Luka, but my player development guy says, give me Zion and let him be who he is for 2 years, and then over the next 5 to 6 years,
let me work him out.
Let me train him to be that guy because he's already patient. Yeah. Like unlike most young guys. He'll let the game come to him a little bit. So you could play him with some old heads. Right. You know what I'm saying? Most young guys, they got to get the ball and go for it. Like, he's definitely got he knows how to turn it on.
Yeah, and that's what I likes about the difference in them two, where I give Zion the thing, whereas though he's the opposite of, like we said, he's patient, but he knows how to get buckets when it's time. You know, at the end of the game, he's going to get the ball in his hands, you know. Yeah. Whereas though Luka still... I don't know if he's paying homage to the surrounding players, but he still plays like he's just one of the regular players. Like, he doesn't want to come out and feel like he's that guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a young team, and I think that when we all get into this talk about who's this and that, when you go to a place that's number one and you become the man, it's a whole different thing. Even I always had this conversation about Mike and Mike being great. The Chicago Bulls weren't a basketball town before Mike got there. Magic went to the Lakers, but they were still the Lakers. Mm-hmm. You know, Bird went to Boston, but they were still the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? So, you know, going into that environment, and Mike going into the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls were not known for basketball, you know, and he made that into a basketball town. And that's definitely what you have to look at, the infrastructure, what players are going to be surrounded with. I got a funny feeling the Lakers are going to win the lottery and get Zion. You heard it first here. And funny things have happened. You know, funny things have happened. It'll be interesting to see.
There's a little WWF to all these sports leagues now.
You know, Patrick Ewing going to the Knicks.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I really see Zion going to the Knicks. I see Kyrie and
Durant coming
over.
Oh, okay.
And he's the type of dude that can play with them. Yeah. Like, that's what I like about Zion. He looks like he's the type of dude that, like, some old head dudes can be like, all right, young boy, we're going to let you go get it right now.
Yeah.
All right, you'll get that rock up. Let me go bring this thing home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like about Zion. But I'm seeing the Knicks for some reason.
Okay, we're going to see how that pans out. Definitely.
If it's corruption, money is being put out. I'm going to tell you that right now. if it's NBA corruption, them owners is putting money out for them balls to fall a certain way. Yeah. It might be a 1 in 12 chances this person get. That's what they're going for. 1 in 33 chance of this team getting the ball lottery.
So, Rap, real quick.
You know I'm a conspiracy theorist, so you know I'm looking at where the Sixers are.
Yeah.
And you bring the Knicks back into play.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, you know how much money the NBA is going to make if Zion goes to the Knicks?
Well,
my bad, son. Go ahead.
Well, just before I want to get into some St. Joe's talk, because I know you're very close to the program. Who's going to cut down the Nets next Monday night? One shining moment.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. Okay, Rap is going with Gonzaga. We definitely. John Stockton will be in the house. He'll be definitely be in the building.
From Villanova to Gonzaga, similar type program.
West Coast style. Oh, definitely. I want to talk about St. Joe's. Rap, St. Joe's alumni, definitely want to get into this. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Never die.
All right, Tony, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Only you will I talk about this on camera with. Like, I've kept all my comments.
Yeah, this is exclusive.
Only you, bro.
Yeah, we're going to
keep it gritty and grimy. I'm going to keep it true with
all right,
you,
we're going to keep it true. All right, we're going to talk about this. This is close to the Philadelphia area. And one thing I want to preface this with, Phil Martelli's been there for years, but with all these things going on in college basketball, with the FBI investigations, people getting federal time, as you say, Fetty time. People getting Fetty time, buying for players, paying for players. Phil has graduated and run a great program, clean program, and definitely with that. But now it's not about that. It's all about the W's and winning and championships. And let's keep it real. Villanova has cast a big shadow over the Big Five in Philadelphia with their success, and so I would assume alumni and, more importantly, boosters, big-time boosters, weren't happy with the direction the program was going, and you get a new athletic director who's not tied, who comes in, and changes are made. And I want to give props to Phil. Definitely, he held it down for St. Joe's for a while. But there was a lot of talk. So the talk was Phil was let go unexpectedly. And Rap, was that unexpected? Were you shocked that Phil was let go? I mean,
I was shocked, but I didn't really know Jill Bonstein really that well.
Okay, she's the new athletic director. Yes, okay.
So I'm actually pursuing her a little bit in the new president, just on a whole recruiting level anyway. But so Phil and I have a personal relationship. Like in this game, I call very few people friends, and Phil and I's relationship is friendship. We don't always agree.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm very straight to the point. We don't agree all the time, but we are friends in this arena. So. Not only was I surprised, because I'm surprised for two reasons. So, inside to a little conversation Phil and I had a couple years ago, it's hard for anybody when your family is, and I'll give you back when I went to St. Joe's. So I told you about Virginia, but actually the same thing happened at St. Joe's. I signed, and then all of a sudden the coach gets fired. You know what I mean? So. And he was my guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that got you there.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jim Boyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. That no longer with us, but so. I had a great relationship with Phil and Jimmy Black, and so it allowed me to so they kind of re-recruited me, which was smart. They re-recruited me, and then I went to play for John Griffin. So, but I referenced that to say I know there were times where Phil struggled with hearing about his family having to hear about them getting fired, and I would think about the Boyles, who I knew very well. It was a tough time for them to have to deal with, your father
losing his job,
but a job like that,
high profile, and everybody has an opinion.
It's a job like that, right? So, but part of what I said to Phil is, it's like, yo, I mean, get paid $1 million plus a year as part of the game, but that's still your family and your kids. So you struggle with that. So, but to me, as long as Don DeJulia who was our former AD there, I never saw them separating in partnership. When Don left, I knew the door was open for that to happen. I just didn't really expect it because it was so many years and where he took the program. And like you said, he runs a really clean program. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So for a school like St. Joe's, that level of transparency and cleanliness is as important as winning. But I'll give you two things. Is one, if you watch the press conference of the new AD, she's very smart, very strategic with her words, but she called the basketball program a strategic asset. So, which is one thing that I've always talked to the St. Joe's and other schools about. Like, it's about that money too. Yeah. And then the other thing is, as an AD, you want to put your imprint on there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, even on my level, when I took the Penwood job, I was like, okay. You know what I mean? I had John Leary, longtime football coach. I knew he, had his football guy, but I was like, flat out, I'm going to want my successor in the basketball program and in the track program. Like, I want to put my imprint on it. So there's no telling that she wanted who she wanted to come in there, whether it was the person that they did hire or whether it was a short list of it. She was definitely going to want to put her fingerprints on a strategic asset.
And I mean, definitely you see that moving forward. And there was talk about, I would assume, Jameer Nelson. There was a lot of talk about Jameer Nelson coming and coaching at St. Joe's. Definitely there was some talk maybe about Jeffrey Arnold. Jeffrey Arnold, I know, from my neck of the woods, going back in the days. Jameer, player of the year, one of the best runs they ever had, talking about that youth and invigorating that moving forward. What did you think about Nelson becoming coach? They went in a different direction. We'll discuss that shortly. What do you think of Aaron McKee's at Temple, and what did you think about the possibilities of a Jameer Nelson hire?
So, on a personal level, on a Delco level, on a Del Val level, I would have loved to see, Jameer or Jeff get the job, right? That's what my heart wants. There's a part of me of what I know about Jameer that I'm not sure he wants that. Yeah. I think if Jameer wanted that, I think it would have been hard not to do it. Okay. But because that's the trend. Yeah. You got Aaron, you got Anthony Hardaway. Yeah. You got Patrick Ewing, you got Chris Mullins. Yeah. So in essence, you can build scaffolds, is what I call them, right? Yeah. You can take a pro player who doesn't necessarily have coaching experience, and you can kind of build a scaffold around them of people who have those experiences and help them, navigate what we were just talking about, like the Purdue execution down the stretch. Maybe they don't get that in the first 2-3 years, but they got the people around them that can help them do it. Right. So as a former player, I'm all for that. So I would have loved to see Jameer Nelson be the head coach there. But in full transparency, I just think Jeff is tied to what's been going on the last couple of years. I think if you'd have told me a couple of years ago, like let's say Jeff would have left after we had that tournament run with Aaron Brown and Bembry and them, I think Jeff would have been one of the guys that would have been right there at the top to get it. Yeah. But he's now tied to the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to fire the head coach and then say, okay, but the top assistant's going to take the job over. Yeah.
So you're looking for a new culture.
So yes. And so, but to be honest with you, I know a lot of people going to have Blake Lang's a pretty good hire.
Okay, definitely. We're going to talk about Lang.
He's a pretty good hire, man.
Yeah. He was, we can jump in Lang. Here he is. He's Sixers assistant. Ties to the Philadelphia area. Was assistant at Textile, which is Philadelphia University under Herb McGee. He's assisted at LaSalle. He was associate coach with the Villanova coach. So he has his Philadelphia roots. South Jersey kid, I think so, like South Jersey kid. So he has his Philadelphia roots, and now he was a part of the Sixers assistant coaching job, and with the Sixers philosophy of player development, which college is about taking young men and developing them. So Lang, he's the new man going forward, and you're on record thinking it's a real good hire.
So you guys got to understand, Phil Martelli was the first non-St. Joe's grad to ever coach the program. Yeah. But he was looked at as a Hawk. Right? Because he had spent so many years as an assistant. He was a Delco guy. Yeah. He was in Philadelphia basketball, so he transcended.
He's a lifer. Him and Dunphy were lifers.
Yeah, so even though he wasn't a Hawk, he looked like a Hawk. He could represent the Hawk. Billy Lang's brother's a Hawk. Mm-hmm. He's a manager during the time I was there. Okay. I believe his wife is a Hawk. Okay. I think she's my era as well. Okay. So he's got true Hawk ties, right? Mm. And then if you add the fact that he's been a head coach, he was the head coach at Navy. Yep. He was.
I had him have a winning season. He got the Navy. Yes. 2008, 2009, 7.
He's part of the J run. So you see Ash over at LaSalle. Okay. And now you see Billy over at Nova. Mm-hmm. So he's part of the Nova run in their championship joint. So he's got that pedigree to it. And then you watched him go from player development guy with the Sixers all the way up to like top assistant. Mm. And so now he's got 76ers in the middle of the process type resume. So, it's really when you start talking about all the angles, right? Can you make it to the St. Joe's alumni? Yeah. Can you claim to be a Philadelphia guy? Yeah. Can you recruit, right? Because, we got a player right now, Charlie Brown. Shout out to Charlie Brown, who's what I'm hearing is thinking about looking to possibly move forward with his pro aspirations. But let's say Charlie comes back, like Billy's the type of guy to say, "Look, you give me a good year, you know what I mean?
Develop you.
Yeah, let me partner with you. Like I can co-sign you to the league. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's a recruiting tool. So I just think that there's a lot of angles that Billy hit that most coaches. I don't really know another coach out there for St. Joe's in particular could hit all of those
buttons.
Yeah.
Definitely, and that was interesting to see because when we were St. Joe's, the best of luck, always, for the Big 5 schools and everybody involved in it, you always wanted to see them do well and root for them come tournament time. And more teams from Philly you have in the tournament is always fun and definitely, moving forward with that. I want to jump into the NBA for a second. Breaking news: I think the Sixers Embiid's going to miss the next 3 games. Joel. Yeah, he's going to miss the next 3 games. I'm trying to figure out, Jonathan, if you can search and see what's definitely going on with Embiid there. Moving forward.
Are we locked into that 3rd spot though?
I mean, if they're sitting him down for 3 games, I would think they find it that we have a pretty good shot at getting that 3rd spot and holding into it. So it'll be interesting. I know Milwaukee's on the schedule coming up. But I don't know anything else is tougher. But they lost those 2 games. But Boston has been slipping too. So if you take a look at the East, you take a look at the Sixers, and you take a look at who's going to come from the East, and you got the Sixers, Celtics, Toronto, Milwaukee. We got a little Philadelphia Sixer bias here. 10-9 Ace and the Sixers. Realistically, I mean this is a LeBron-less who runs the north side. Right now, your gut rap, your basketball, acumen. Who's telling you who's going to be in that the NBA Finals out of the East right now?
So, I'm a hardcore Sixers fan. You know what I mean? We grew up in a magical Sixers area. So, but I'm gonna tell you, like, I just have a problem seeing how anybody's gonna beat the Raptors.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think we could. Whatever Boston's issue is, they struggle with some of the other teams. What they kind of have on us, you know what I mean? They don't really have against the other teams. Like even watch the Pacers last night played them to almost overtime, or it was overtime. But I know Kyrie had a game-winning shot. Milwaukee, and really back to Toronto. Besides, Kyle Lowry. You know what I mean? And Kawhi. Like, Siakam is that how you say his name? That dude's a baller.
Yeah.
Siakam.
Yeah.
He's a baller. Like, where did he come from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, the Toronto's nervous.
But all those teams got really good coaching.
Joel Embiid missing against the
next 3 games. Load management, left knee.
Left knee,
Load management, left knee. Yeah. So Embiid's out the next.
So he's probably not nothing. It's probably they saying Jimmy Butler returning or something, but it's probably not like bad. But it's y'all may not need the game. So that's what it's really about. Like keeping he coming off only playing. You want to manage his time anyway for the rest of his career almost. So if you don't need a game. Let's not play him if we don't need a game. You know what I mean? Based on his injuries since he came into the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So. I mean, this is going to be an interesting thing. I mean, going forward, I think a lot of people, and I think I was one of them, and I think me and Jonathan had this. I really didn't give Kyrie his respect. I didn't. I thought, I was like, okay, he was in the system. He had a lot of great players around him. Can he easily be that much? I mean, we had that conversation. Like, do you give up 8 players for him? Like, I was like, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was like, the claw.
He coming off the LeBron,
I was like, but hey, he's going to Toronto.
He was on that Kobe ain't good. He won them. Shaq won them rings. He was on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shaq won them rings. But meantime, Kobe averaged 28. You know what I mean?
As a young fella, did you feel that way too?
What
about Kyrie? Because the young fellas I know love Kyrie.
He take that shot, man. He definitely the real deal. Like I always look at him, like a lot of Sixers fans don't, but I look at him as like a newer Iverson, man. Like that's how when I watch him ball, that's what I see. I seen whatchamacallit, but he got to the NBA and changed. His rookie year, he was looking like going to be the new Iverson, but he changed. Boy, Brandon Jennings, and high school and everything, he looked like he was going to be the new Iverson. I said, Brandon Jennings, this boy nice. Then rookie year, I'm telling everybody about it. Brandon Jennings put up 50 points in his rookie season. One game. I said, I told you.
Too.
Yeah, he went overseas. I told you he going to be the new Iverson. Then after that, he just disappeared, man. I don't know what happened with him.
Well, things happen. You know what I mean? People catch up with you. You got to be able to play it. You got to your head success. But the work ethic that you got to put in to maintain the level of greatness is crazy. It's what you have to do when no one's watching. Yeah. That's the whole thing. You got to put it in. And that's what definitely what Kobe did. And of course LeBron does that too. Definitely. But it's going to be interesting coming out the East. I mean, Toronto's won. And I'm not quite sold on Milwaukee. But it's all about matchups and who you play against. If the Sixers don't have to see the Celtics, they got a shot. Yeah. I mean, the Celtics just a matchup.
The Raptors, though.
Yeah, the Raptors. Leonard's a beast. He's on beast mode.
Yeah,
and Kawhi is just that dude. Is he staying at Toronto or is he leaving?
No, he's out.
He's out.
So is Leonard that much better than DeRozan? He's making that much difference.
Yes.
So let me go back real fast on the Kyrie. For my era. Isaiah Thomas, people didn't like Isaiah because of his personality. But Isaiah could get a bucket anytime he wanted to, anyhow he wanted to. Remember, he got the 40-something on the Lakers on bad ankle
on 1 foot.
Like Kyrie's on that
national championship with Bob Knight.
Yes, Kyrie's that type dude. Like Kyrie can score from any position on any body. You know what I mean? Like he's unguardable. When you transfer that to Kawhi, I feel like Kawhi is kind of in that same space, but from a wing. Yeah. Like Kawhi is the best two-way player I've seen. Like I'm trying to think about who scores and defends on his level because he straight up takes Ben Simmons out the game.
Yeah.
Like Ben Simmons is not the same player when he's on the floor with Kawhi.
He's almost and I throw this out here, but he was a guard. He reminds me of like Sidney Moncrief 2.0.
Okay.
Sidney Moncrief was the Lakers were debating taking Moncrief or Magic, just to let you know how he was, John. Yeah, and him coming out of Arkansas. And Moncrief can play defense, guard, and can score and do those things and stuff the stat sheet, assists, rebounds, steals, things like that. He reminds me of a bigger, almost more hard to say, almost athletic. To cover his two-hand tomahawk on the cover of Sports Illustrated is still one of my favorite drawings. Of Moncrief, the way he plays, he can lock guys up. And he can get buckets,
You know me, I'm still not on the bandwagon of I'm still not on it. Like how you said, it's hard for you to think of a two-way player. Like I in my mind, I can name a lot. I look at him as like I don't even think he's that much better than DeRozan, but I look at him as like Jimmy Butler. Like I think Clay is like the best two-way player in the league right now. I don't think he is the best. His defense may be a little bit better,
but Clay's a shooter,
right? But I think he's also their best defender. He's also
their best. A lot of great defenders on their team. I mean, it's been the tallest midget in the circus.
Yeah, but I think he plays real good D.
Yeah, he's just
with his
defender,
wingspan,
But it's
some guys chump other guys.
But it's not about
it's a different. But
Clay go get buckets for us. Like
but I'm still not on his like I think
if you put Clay on his Toronto team, are they first in the East?
No, they don't do the same work because I feel as though that's what he brings. He brings more of that. He brings more of like I don't want to knock him down. It's like when you debate, it's like you almost knock people down. Like he brings almost like that garbage mentality, whereas though he gonna get the inside buck, he gonna get the rebound, the putback, he gonna get the jumper, he gonna go through that screen hard for you to get a moving screen. Like he's gonna do all those things, whereas though Clay's not gonna do that. Okay. But it's I just don't see him as
we just haven't seen him do it.
That elite. I just don't see him as that elite.
We actually have seen him do it. We watched him do it. Like they took out the LeBron team.
Yeah, right? They won. He was the best player in that series.
He was the best player in that series, man. And you had top 50 guys in that series. I just think that kind of like Jimmy Butler, the way he moved out of San Antonio kind of hurt the legacy. Yeah. But you know how they got your favorite rapper's rapper?
Yeah.
Like he's that dude that. Like, I would like to have been like, yo, okay, you guard Kobe.
Okay.
You guard Mike.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not saying, oh, yeah, yo, you guard Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy that you say, okay, well, your favorite dude, that dude that's going to carry that team to that championship, like, you got him. And so, I think his offense is just so efficient.
Yeah, he definitely.
He's a high percentage scorer.
Yeah. It's not flashy though. It's just he's just gonna get it done.
A lot of his buckets not gonna make sports.
Right, he's just gonna get it done. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's his game. And me being younger, I want to see Sports Center. You know what I'm saying? So he's just gonna get it done. He's gonna still put up 25, but it's just gonna be. It's almost like he's from the Spurs, so you're not gonna see it. We never seen Duncan 35 points he put up. It was bank shots. And ones. And one layups. We didn't see the 35 points Duncan put up. So it's almost like, we don't see those buckets. You just look at the stat sheet like, he had 28 last night. Yeah. He played D, but 28.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting. Toronto coming out, that would make for an interesting finals.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about the West.
76ers all the way, though. I want to see us play Toronto. I mean, if Embiid is who he's about to be, which is the elite dominant player in the NBA, he talks it.
Yeah.
He walks it. If he's really going to be that.
He just said he's unstoppable, right?
He's got to carry us through Kawhi. He's got to carry us through Greek Freak. I mean, that's just what it is.
That's what he has to do.
Kyrie, that's just what it is. You can accept the transition of maybe, okay, they're a year away, but for real, as big and dominant as he is, it's time. He's got all the supporting pieces.
Yeah, definitely. Quick jump out. LeBron, LA
King
didn't work out this year.
It's a
setup. What do you think going forward? I mean, we can say he's past his prime. We can say LeBron is he. You don't know how much more he has left, or a lot of people saying he's going Hollywood. I mean, the move to LA was definitely bigger than basketball.
Yes,
no doubt. It's from a corporate idea or things going on. What do you take on LeBron this year, Rap?
I think LeBron gave out work again.
Yeah,
I think if he doesn't miss those 18 games during the playoffs,
okay.
And I don't think he has this team. Remember that Cleveland team? First of all, that Cleveland team beat the Pistons when the Pistons was killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, the 26,
Larry Brown,
the 27 straight points.
Yeah, so this team is worse than that team.
Right. and the thing about it is that team when they beat the Pistons, cheating them, but they were still on their decline. And LeBron took over, but and they cheating them just came off beating the Lakers the year before though.
Right.
But also he had shooters though. They wasn't good players, but he had shooters. His point guards were shooters. What was it, Mo Williams?
Booby and Mo.
Yeah, he had shooters. So LeBron has to play with shooters. If LeBron can get 4 shooters, he's going to go far. If he can penetrate and kick out, because one person can't guard him, so he's going to drive. Once he drives, somebody got to help. He's going to kick out. He's going to find a man. And Lakers don't have the shooters. But this team we got the team. We was trying to make a run.
John was a Lakers guy.
Yeah, we was trying to make a run at Anthony Davis.
John was a Lakers guy.
We was trying to make a run at Anthony Davis and everything else. But we was preparing for this right now because if you look, we signed about 4 or 5 one and dones. So we got 4 or 5 people on 1-year contracts, whereas though they're gonna be going. So we're gonna have still that room to bring somebody in. And
well, I'm questioning. So first of all, I think LeBron still got it.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Davis comes in, they change the game. I think they got to add that shooter dude.
I
think they missed the Paul George joint. I think if that could have went down, him coming off the injury, I think
especially Paul playing the way he playing now.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't get that done. Like that's not one thing I kind of fault Magic.
Yeah.
But I could see Jimmy Butler, and I hate to say it, I could see him going out that way. I could see a couple dudes. He needs some dudes that can kind of just play along with him. But I don't think LeBron's done. I think they got a run in him. I'm not sure.
Clay's coming. Clay's coming. He's L.A. He's all L.A. Family. They want it. They want it.
Golden State's a nice. Like, how do you leave that? Like,
because you've been looked at as the fourth guy.
Durant's gonna be out. Though.
You've been looked at as the fourth guy. Like you behind a guy that doesn't have no game. Draymond. Like you behind just a Swiss Army knife. Like they look at you as the fourth guy on the team.
Yeah. I don't know if they look at him like that. I think we might look at him like that. I think you're hoping.
Listen,
I think you're hoping. You don't accuse Jack Nicholson.
His Twitter memes is telling you the fourth guy on that team. Right. They trolling him.
Definitely. I want to jump in quick before I want to talk to Rap about some AD stuff and some pointers or information he has about student athletes and what they need to be doing as they progress and trying to move on to the next level. Major League Baseball started, and Philly was in the news again just because he struck out a couple times and there was some boos in opening day. So they never ceased to give opportunity to look at Philly like, oh, okay, they're born Bryce Harper, but hey, you know what's going to be like when we hitting. You know what some of the fans, and I wouldn't say some, most, like the vast majority wasn't booing the guy, but there's going to be some you strike out twice. You cashing that $300 million check, they're like, oh, $300 million is boo. I ain't come here to say this.
Like they came out of their pocket that $300
million. Look into your crystal ball. Can Bryce Harper take the pressure here in Philly?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that I felt like that Bryce Harper did that was smart in the process is he made sure the owner was completely on board. When your ownership is completely on board, you can have a bad year. You can have a bad year or two. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're gonna pass through. And I think on top of that, in baseball, the players that garner respect, if they can make you pitch around them at times, you know what I mean? Where they have to see other players. Like think about Reese Hopkins got the grand slam. Think about what Jason Worth was like when he was pitching around Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's as valuable as them getting the hit or home run themselves. Philly, we're just a blue collar city at heart, and so we're gonna hate on somebody that's getting paid ridiculous paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? For real. Like I tell people all the time, like, listen, like I got friends that actually do construction. Like they got real jobs. Like I do athletic director. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I work hard. You know what I mean? But there's dudes out here that really got to go out there and beat the streets. And you see somebody making 330. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, dude, I need you to get hits every night. if I'm gonna kick my ticket money out, you gotta get hits every night.
If I'm in the building, I want to see a home run.
Yeah, you gotta give me something. I pay my money. You gotta give me something tonight. So, but I think that most people are gonna be patient. I think we're not really waiting for the Phillies to win this year. We might be hoping because Phillies, we hope, but. I think he'll be fine. He's good.
Yeah, that's the only thing with with when you come to Philly and you sign a deal like that. The difference between everybody talk about New York pressure is different, but New York pressure is different. But New York is playing with other big paying stars, so it's like
you're not the only guy,
right? You get to fall in the line. Like nobody ever all the stuff A-Rod got in trouble with. A-Rod ain't give him a good season. I don't think. He cashed out. But when you playing with you playing with CC. You playing with so much other stars.
The captain Jeter.
Yeah, you the captain. Yeah, you ever to lay in. Whereas though you are the guy. We need you to get a home run a night.
Right.
Like, that's just the difference when you go to a different team based on going to New York, even though they say the pressure is harder than New York.
Yeah, definitely.
You see, I'm not I wasn't disrespectful to the ranch, but I rock my Eagles green. You know what I'm saying? But to your point, John, like look at what we did with Carson Wentz. Like he had a magical year.
Right,
got hurt,
but got hurt and finished the game that won it, that gave us home field advantage.
But Foles is the dude that got us there, so people gonna rock with Foles. But really, Foles. And then Philly dude Foles. Comes back hurt and plays hurt. You know what I mean? To start the season and doesn't have the best season. Now we're like, oh, he's not good enough.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, that's just Philly for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really, in essence, the people that reach that greatness. They learn to adjust to that, and that's what makes them great.
Right. Shout out to Dave. He's saying Yanks Phil's World Series. We shall see. Rat, one thing I wanted to ask you before we depart and break this session up. You're an athletic director, and you deal with a lot of student athletes at the high school level and at the college level. As you just once they leave William Penn, that the relationships aren't severed. What kind of pointers or just some things you can say to student athletes and parents of student athletes, as from an athletic director's perspective, on things they should be doing and working on as they pursue athletic scholarships here in 2019? We hear a whole lot of drama going on and stuff like that. And what's your take, and what kind of advice you can give to the youth and the parents of youth?
So first of all, just pay attention. I mean, if you watch the FBI investigation on the admission scandal in the smaller programs who were getting paid direct programs within the athletic department, like crew and tennis and swimming, like people paying them to bring their kids into college. Like college is so expensive nowadays that you have not the elite wealthy, but the next level wealthy are willing to pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get in what they call the side door. So you have to understand and really take this thing as a business. The one thing that I try to encourage parents is to get their student athletes to look at things other than basketball or other than sports. There's so many jobs in athletics now. So I was just down at Morgan State. Shout out to Dr. Christian Anderson, and I was part of the Gear Up program, which is a college readiness program, and I got to speak. And one of the things that I talked about was, building your own brand and really understanding that there are so many jobs. And I asked him, like, what does an athletic director do? And nobody really could fully explain it. It was like, well, he gets the refs and, you know what I mean? Like, make sure the games are okay. But there's so many different parts, the accounting background, the software and technology integrations that you got to bring to your scheduling, the facilities, as we was talking earlier about facilities management. Like, so there's not a job or a prerequisite, a path in high school for you to become athletic director.
Yeah, public relations,
You know what I mean? So there's so many jobs now in athletics that really, in essence, you have to be paying attention. And truthfully, that's what being injured did for me. It allowed me to see all the different people who were professionals while I was an amateur. Other people that were getting paid to help and support me. And support the programs and all of the sponsorship that was in it, which was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to eat off of athletics one way or the other. So we have to get our kids from thinking about just trying to be the player, because intellectually we're in a different space. And if we really take a little bit of time to go and get our history, we realize that we had our own leagues. So we foregone our own leagues, because Matt, think about what the Negro Baseball League would be today. You know what I mean? What the value of those teams would be today. So we did that so that we could be on the highest platform and be in front of everybody. But we have to now transcend of just being a player and not just being an owner, but like what LeBron and them are doing is become an agent, become a marketing rep, become a designer, become a communications person, become a financial planner. Like, that dude that's in high school and you're around NBA players or NFL players, you're the dude that they trust. Right. So if you get your MBA and get your financial planning, and nowadays you guys have people that you can look at. You can look at Paul, who is LeBron's boy, and be like, oh, they went back to school and got that MBA. You know what I'm saying? And figured out how to do it. So I just think that is the bigger vision of this thing, which is basketball is just a tool to drive you to a better life, and that scholarship dollar is for you, because you're not going to get the same education as a student athlete. You're too busy. You're not going to make the same alumni relationships because you're too busy, and you are part of the strategic asset, like St. Joe says. So St. Joe's is saying it. Yeah. What is it like for those college bowl programs that make money on a level of Fortune 500 companies. You have to learn how to strategically put yourself in position, your brand in position to be able to make money off of it. So that's the bigger picture. On a small level, we gotta do better academically. We gotta do better with our behavior, and we have to do better in just
watch social media, what you post.
Watch your social media. Like the one thing that I love about Allen Iverson is that he was transparent for who he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just because that's who you are, Allen Iverson still grew. Yeah. He still came back and realized that he needed coaching and still need Larry Brown. So it doesn't mean I'm thuggish as a young dude. Like that's what I'm just gonna be, and I don't have to grow and progress because we all become parents.
Yeah.
We become husbands. We become leaders in our community, and now the things that come out of our mouth. Shout out to Tupac. We got to hold people accountable for what comes out of our mouth and our actions. So we have to do a better job of not saying, "Oh, you're an athlete. You can just do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want." And say, look, nah, you got a chance to really influence our communities and make change.
Well, definitely. Words of wisdom. I just want to thank you for coming down, to the ranch. We do the things. We're going to be back. I was embedded with Penwood football team. Shout out to Coach Troop, last year. I made a magical run. It was a good run. AP will be back. That's the Rival Academy Park. I'm Night Nation. I gotta throw that sign up there, But I'm all for the betterment, the kids and the youth, and that's one thing at Sports Talk Live for the culture. We definitely want to embark into the scholastic sports and be, show the positive side of culture. Definitely in what you can get out of athletes and what you learn from playing athletics. Sacrifice, discipline, thing along those lines, which you can parlay that. And that's not only things on the field, but academics and making connections and relationships that can help you, moving forward in life. That's definitely what you want to do. I mean, I think that's the main thing. Definitely getting the connections with individuals that you deal with, and that's going to help you in the long run. I think that's the main thing. You can never forget that. How athletics has helped you. Just from training, just from a healthy lifestyle perspective. Definitely.
I want to say one thing out to Sunni because one, I want to thank him for what he did for us, technology-wise at Penwood. And helping us be able to show what we do that's special. To the larger world, right? You know what I mean? To our communities because. When you're a school that's underfunded, you don't really have the platforms to be able to let people know that you're doing special things. And I'll say that, but I want to leave you with this because, you're a high school student athlete, right? So you get it, and you took those same principles, and even though you didn't play in college, you use the same things to help guide you through life. And I want to talk a lot about technology real fast, because see, here's the thing, right? We've had hacks in Philly and in all these major cities for years, but it wasn't until somebody came up with the technology that we were able to turn it into a business. So now Uber and Lyft is a business. We have to really understand technology, and I know you're doing stuff in our school district, and I was able to take advantage of it for the athletic department, and we're looking at doing some more things, but we have to realize that if we don't make sure our kids get the technology and we leave the gap there, then we're going to always import it. So then other people have to come into our communities and show us how to get money off of things we already get money on. You know what I'm saying? So I shout out to you, and I'm hoping that more athletic departments, more schools will embrace their technology departments and figure out how they can utilize that and put that into the curriculum so that kids can get that exposure, because these are the jobs. And these are not only the jobs that we need for our community, these are the jobs that we need for us to build our communities up economically, where we don't have those other pharmaceutical companies and other companies there. Because we can figure out ways to make money off of things that we already do.
Definitely. and peace and thanks. Hey, look, everybody, it's a beautiful day, 70 degrees. Go out there and enjoy it. Yo, Jonathan, Hidden River, man.
Hey, you ready right now?
You ready?
I got my son with. Elena gonna take her.
You know, Elena,
take him.
Yeah, we can run me, you and CJ. We can take that.
We can take a quick ride.
Ride the Hidden River.
I feel like it.
It's like a Hidden River. Hidden River is a brew. Right? Yeah. They out there, and they off the school kill, and it's hidden. Yeah. It's tough.
Where that thing at? Douglasville or Doylestown, something like that.
Douglasville, yeah, definitely. Shout out to my man Andrew. He laced me with the Collective Arts. That's what's been in the cup. IPA number 8, Collective Arts. It's a banger. Go check out Collective Arts. They're a top brewery.
Where is that?
Definitely. They from Ontario, Canada. Yeah, got the import. You know, that's how you do it. I ain't bring down no Molson. You know what I mean? I brought down the real deal. So definitely. But yeah, definitely. Sports Talk Live for the culture. We'll be back next week, Final Four weekend. And I gotta get together with Buff and all you people. Gotta do a Game of Thrones show. We gotta throw that together sometime next week.
Oh yeah. They ready. They ready. They talking like they ready.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. Definitely. Peace, and we out.
All right.